जगत निस्तार नाम बीना कली काले नाही आर धर्म नाम बीना कली काले नाही आर धर्म सर्व मंत्र सार नाम येई शास्त्र मर्म सर्व मंत्र सार नाम येई शास्त्र मर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन के विश्व हरिनाम उत्सव के जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद के बहुत सुंदर प्रतिदिन हम सब
very beautifully all of us, all the devotees, we sit together, associate and chant the holy names, performing the Sankirtana. And in these days, we are also celebrating the Harinam Sankirtan week. And the glories of chanting the holy names have been mentioned in our scriptures. Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrut says,
जैसे द्वापर युग में
so he says that as in Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna manifested himself, and in Treta he manifested as Lord Ram, and in Satyuga he manifested as Narsim, Vaman, etc. The same Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, manifested as the holy name in Kali Yuga. He says, Kali Kale, that is in the Kali Yuga, Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar, that means Krishna incarnated as the holy names. And the Hari Naam or Bhagvat Naam or Mahamantra has a potency to benefit the whole world. And without chanting of the holy name, there is no other dharma or self-righteousness personified. That doesn't mean that there is no other dharma or religion, but all other religions are there to support chanting of the holy names. And all principles, rules and regulations that we follow, they are to support chanting of the holy names. And the most important dharma of this yuga is to chant the holy names. All the Vedic verses and all the Vedic scriptures and injunctions have the essence of chanting of the holy names. And that is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. In scriptures, it has been asked that in this world, who is the most fortunate person? And Vedvyas ji replies in this verse beautifully.
ज्ञा मनुष्येषु कृतार्था नृपनिश्चितम् स्मरन्ति ये स्मारयन्ति स्मरन्ति ये स्मारयन्ति हरेर नाम कलो युगे हरेर नाम कलो युगे। श्री व्यास मुनि लिखते हैं कि
Sri Vyas Muni writes, Sabhagya means fortunate and Manusheshu means men
सबसे अधिक सौभाग्यशाली कौन है?
or living entities. So he says that who is the most fortunate in humankind or mankind? You can see in this verse there are 2 points here.
सौभाग्य माने सौभाग्यशाली कौन और मनुष्येषु कृतार्थ मनुष्य में
And
कृतार्थ कौन? निश्चित
who
रूप से बताइए।
is the most
शास्त्र में कहते हैं कि हे राजन
grateful person. So these are the 2 parts, the most fortunate and the most grateful person in this world is who? And he answers in the second line of the verse, Smaranti ye smarayan samarayanti. That means that a person who chants the holy name and the one who reminds others through his behavior, love, actions, etc. So a person who remembers himself and reminds others. Samarayanti means to remind others. So the one who remembers and reminds others about chanting of the holy names is the most fortunate and the most grateful of all. So if we want to be fortunate and filled with gratitude, then we should chant the holy names and we should remind others, inspire others to chant the holy names. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart that you all every day join and through Amrit Charcha and you chant the holy names with so much internet and data you have used. And despite that, you just sit together, chant the holy names. So we are extremely fortunate and we are filled with gratitude that by this platform, on this platform, we are chanting and we are inspiring others as well. If we reach 1 lakh people, then only one person starts to chant. But we see here that so many people, most all the people who come here on Amrit Charcha chant the holy names. And the reason is that we all are doing it together and we are inspiring each other. You should not think that just starting the mobile and just sitting there, what will be the benefit if I chant the holy names with everyone? But you can see the result in front of your screen that a person who chants the holy names and reminds others or inspire them is far greater of it to achieve that you all are doing or performing by chanting the holy names on this Amrit Charcha platform. So Sri Vedvyas Muni writes in Skanda Puran the glories of chanting of the holy names. He says, Kali Kal Kusarpasya.
स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक है, आप थोड़ा देख लीजिएगा। कली काल, स्कंद पुराण का ये श्लोक है। स्कंद पुराण में लिखा है
And it's written there that how is this Kali Yuga? And he says, Kusarpasya. This Kali Yuga is like a snake. A person who bites others, who is venomous, and who bites others, contaminate others. And his teeth are extremely sharp. And this Kali Yuga is biting like a snake, venomous snake, and is disturbing us.
महामंत्र बोलो तो श्लोक आएगा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम, हरे कृष्णा हरे. मुझे लगता है पवित्र आदमी का महामंत्र चाहिए. अमित नारायण प्रभु बोलेंगे तो होगा.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा
अमित नारायण प्रभु बोलते हैं तो हो जाता है. उनकी पवित्रता का जोर ज्यादा लगता है. सो कली काल
So we were discussing that this Kali Yuga, the time frame of this Kali Yuga is like a snake, a venomous snake who has sharp teeth, and it constantly bites us and disturbs us. But Vedvyaji says that you should not be scared. Ma bhayam means you should not be scared. And because if you do one thing, then you won't be bothered by Kali Yuga. And what should we do is mentioned in the second line. Govind Nama Deva Dagdho. If we remember or chant the names of Govind, if we chant the holy names of Lord Krishna or Govind, then it is like the fire in the forest, and it can just burn this serpent in the Kali Yuga in the form of the serpent. So that means or implies that if we chant the holy names, then we won't be affected by Kali Yuga. If we want to get relieved of the distress and disturbances of Kali Yuga, then we should chant the holy names. And
का जाप करें तब तो बहुत अच्छी बात है.
And if we chant the holy names with love, Vyasmuni writes further that even if we chant the holy names because of a compulsion, Yat Nama, that means Krishna's name, Kirtite means Sankirtana or chanting. if somebody chants the holy names by compulsion, not by love, but even by force, if we chant the holy names, because of some shame, people chant the holy names. So somehow, if we chant the holy names, then sarva patake, that means a person can get relieved of all his sins. And how he gets relieved? Sadhya. So this sadhya word here in the second line is very important. And he gives an example that even if we chant the holy names forcefully, we will immediately be relieved of all the sins. Sadhya here means immediately. As in a deep forest, the lion roars, and by his roaring, all the animals and birds, they just flew and ran away. So the roaring of the lion is not for a particular deer or animal, but by just his roaring, everybody runs. So even if we have ulterior motive to chant the holy names, even then our sins leave us from our heart immediately. That is the glory of the holy names of the Lord. And further, he writes, it's mentioned in the scriptures, very beautifully described here in this verse.
यथा तमोर को भ्रमिवाति वातः। ये जितने भी लोग अमित नारायण प्रभु के आश्रय प्रोग्राम में हैं,
So all those who are there in the Ashray program of Amit Narayan Prabhu,
सब लोग आप नोट कर लीजिएगा, ये होमवर्क
you should note down this. It will help you in your homework in Ashray.
हरि नाम के विषय में कुछ लेकर आओ। So
Sankirtamano means whose fame is famous all over the universe. Such Lord Anant, and when we chant his names, then what happens? Punsam, he enters our heart. The chanting of the holy names enters our ears and it transfers or travels to our heart. Punsam. So when we chant the holy names, then Krishna enters our heart through the medium of our ears. And vidhonoti means he cleans our heart. And how does he clean? The example is here, mentioned here. As the deep darkness of night is removed by the rays of sun, and all the darkness is removed. Similarly, our heart is cleansed and purified. We become knowledgeable. There is no ignorance and darkness when Krishna enters our heart through the medium of our ears while chanting the holy names. It is mentioned beautifully that if we have to go to the eternal abode of the Lord, then how are we travel. So if we have to travel from India to US, you cannot come on a bike, but you will have to take a flight. So these are vehicles. So if we have to go to Golok Dham, then what is the vehicle? Then in Padma Puran, it is mentioned
Tadev punyam paramam pavitram Govind gehe gamanaya patram. तदेव पुण्यम परमम पवित्रम भगवान श्री कृष्ण का नाम
Lord Shri Krishna's name
परम पुण्यवान है
are extremely pious and pure.
चलो इसको थोड़ी देर बंद कर आ गया तो भगवान श्री कृष्ण का नाम परम पवित्र है
So his name is extremely pious, pure.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण के
And Govind Gehe means in his home. If we have to travel to his home, Gamanaya means to travel or to go. So Govind Gehe Gamanaya means it to travel to the home of Lord Govind is Patram, that is the vehicle. So the names of the Lord are the vehicle to enter the eternal abode of the Lord. You are very good and you have worked well, but if you don't have a vehicle, then how are you going to reach the eternal abode of the Lord, that is Goloka? And Harinam is the vehicle. And not only that, all kinds of piety, the goal is to chant the holy names. And that is the most pious activity that can be used to travel to the eternal abode of the Lord. And every day we are chanting the holy names 2 hours a day, and especially now this Harinam week is going on, so we should hear the glories of the holy names. So let's chant the holy names for a while and then proceed further to the Bhagvatam Katha.
राधे जय जय नवल किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की उपस्थित
Hare Krishna, I welcome you, all the mellowful devotees, all the devotees and listeners who have gathered here, and I extend my warm welcome to the senior devotees or Vaishnavas of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness who have decorated this beautiful assembly, and I welcome all the listeners who have joined through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, etc. from all parts of the world, and I heartily welcome the organizers who have organized this Katha in reverie of their ancestors like Sitaram Agarwal, Gomati Devi, Baldev Das ji, Basanti Devi, Ramlal ji, Vishwambhar Lal ji, and His Grace Vishwamangal Prabhu. In reverie of these pious ancestors, they have organized this beautiful Bhagvat Katha. The denizens of Seattle, Sri Manoj and Nidhi Agarwal, and from Kathmandu, Shri Lalita Agarwal, Lalita Mata. I welcome you all on the 6th day of this Bhagavatam Katha once again, and our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam.
Shrimad Bhagavat Pitru Paksh.
The topic we have been discussing is Shrimad Bhagvat in Pitru Paksh and Pitru Paksh.
So, इस पावन पितृ पक्ष में,
so on this pious Pitru Paksh, we have been discussing the glories of the Pitru Paksh and Srimad Bhagavatam. Till now we have heard or discussed that till the point a person is relieved of the 5 debts, then he or she cannot be fully satisfied or blissful. Therefore, our prime responsibility is that whenever we have time, qualification, and means, then we should try to prioritize to relieve ourselves from this debt or loan. Sometimes people say that why do we need to offer milk to Shivalinga? Although the milk is ours, money, faith, everything is ours. But the people who ask the question are somebody else who are not concerned. They say that we should give it to poor instead of offering it to Lord Shiva. I just want to say to such people that if you have taken a loan from someone for some work and you just lended some money from others, and when you got this means to return, then will you return that money? Where will you spend that money? Will you give it to in charity, or you will return to someone who you have taken from? And if you follow the principle, philosophy, then we will give the charity later, but first we will return to person from whom we have taken the loan. So in our life, we are already indebted to so many people. So the debt that we already have, we need to get relief, and then only we can go for social welfare, charity, etc. So what are the debts that we have?
Nrinam pitrunam na kinkaro na yarini charajan sarvatmanaya sharanam Sharanyam गतो मुकुंदम परिहर्त्य कर्तम। पांच लोगों के ऋण हम पर है।
So we are indebted by 5 types of people. We discussed it a little. Now let's complete it. So the first of all, we have the depth of demigods. Day and night they have been giving us. The sun is giving us light, rays, sunlight, etc. And Pavan is giving oxygen, Indra is giving rains, the moon provides the moonlight, which in turn gives us medicines, and they work day and night for us. So if you see, in this verse, the first and foremost mention is Devata or demigods. And what should we do to get relieved of this debt? We should remember them. We should offer them obeisances. And we should thank them all. But only just saying thanks or to pay obeisances, still we won't be able to relieve ourselves. If someone says that I am relieved of the debt of the demigods, then that's not possible. Second, then it is Rishi. Dev, then Rishi. So the sages and saints have given us the Gotra, the clan which we belong to. They have given us Vedic scriptures and injunctions. And to relieve ourselves from their debt, what should we do? We should study the scriptures written by them. The time that we lack to do. We should read their scriptures and to preach their philosophy to others. When we read them and spread them or preach them, still we won't be fully relieved of our debts, although we don't even try to do that also. So even if we have a solution, but still it is not a foolproof plan, or we cannot be 100% relieved. Then the third is Bhut, that is the living entities. As the cow gives us milk and nourishes us, so to get ourselves relieved of this debt, we need to work for Gaumata, and the trees are used for making the home, and when we die, that time also we will use one tree. So at least we need to think about that single tree that will be used when we die for our cremation. So to protect the plants and animals is a way to protect or to get relieved of the debt, to offer water and grains to the birds. And although if we do all these things, yet we won't be fully relieved of these debts. Can we repay the cow for its milk? The Gaumata gives her heart in the form of milk, and it will be just a trial. Still, we cannot say confirm that we will be 100% debt free. And the fourth is Aptanam, that is our family social obligation of the society. So because it provides us protection philosophy, rules and regulations, etc. So even if we don't have a desire, yet we should live within the society, and we should have tolerance and work in tandem with them. Yet we won't be 100% relieved of the debt of the society. And the fifth is Pitrunam, that is the debt of our ancestors. So to get relieved of this Pitru rin or debt, we should perform veneration in this Pitru Paksh that is going on right now. We should perform oblation for them. And do you think that once a year, if we perform this veneration of our ancestors, will we get relieved?
કાઢી મુખેથી કોળિયા મોંમાં દઈ મોટા કર્યા કાઢી મુખેથી કોળિયા મોંમાં દઈ મોટા કર્યા અમૃત તણા દેનાર સામે ઝેર ઉગળશો નહીં અમૃત તણા દેનાર સામે ઝેર ઉગળશો નહીં લાખો લડાવ્યા લાડ તમને લાડસો પૂરા કર્યા લાખો લડાવ્યા લાડ તમને લાડસો પૂરા કર્યા ये લાડના પૂરનારના એ લાડને ભૂલશો નહીં લાખો કમાતા હો ભલે મા બાપ જેથી ના ઠર્યા લાખો કમાતા હો ભલે મા બાપ જેથી ના ઠર્યા ये લાખ નહીં પણ રાખ છે ये માનવું ભૂલશો નહીં ઈ લાખ નહીં પણ રાખ છે ઈ માનવું ભૂલશો નહીં ભૂલો ભલે બીજું બધું મા બાપને ભૂલશો નહીં અગણિત છે ઉપકાર એ ના એ કદી વિસરશો નહીં ભીને સુઈ પોતે અને સૂકે સુડાવ્યા આપને ભીને સુઈ પોતે અને સુકે સુડાવ્યા આપને ये અમીમયી આંખને ભૂલીને ભીંજવશો નહીં पुनीत जी ने बहुत सुंदर सुंदर भजन लिखे हैं पुनीत जी की अनेक
Ji has written beautiful songs and bhajans, and this is one of the beautiful bhajans by him. He has said that you might forget everything, but you should not forget your parents. There is a huge saint, Aniruddha in Vaishnav Parampara, and I was reading about his prose. He starts his book from this, that the first spiritual master for all of us is or are our parents who teach us to sleep, to walk, to eat, etc. And if we want to make them sad and if we want to do something else, then it is not possible to achieve.
और ऐसे माँ बाप को साल में एक बार याद करके
And throughout the if we just remember them once in a year and just perform veneration for them, then is it really worth it? So just remembering them once a year, is it sufficient? It is just a small trial. We cannot be relieved of their debt 100%. So the question still remains that if we cannot get relieved of these, then there is no point that we could be happy. So how are we going to be happy? When in Shrimad Bhagavatam, Naradji says this verse is said by Naradji to Yudhishthir Maharaj, O king, you can get relieved of all these debts completely and we can be completely happy. But don't think that whatever we are doing, we have done completely. So if we want to get relieved of these debts, then what are we supposed to do?
इन पांचों के ऋण में थोड़े भी नहीं रहेंगे.
We won't be indebted to all these debts if we just do one thing. And what is that work? Gato Mukundam Sharanam. That means we should take the shelter of Lord Shri Krishna. Why? Because he is capable to give shelter to us, who has the potency to give shelter. So we should take complete shelter of the Lord. Then we will be fully relieved of all these debts. But what does it mean or signifies to take shelter of Lord Shri Krishna? There are quite a few devotees who are in confusion that sometimes people, some Vaishnavas or devotees say that we don't need to perform veneration of our ancestors as we are already devotees. So we have to become devotees. But what kind of devotee are we supposed to be so that we get relieved or of these? That's the way we are performing our devotional service. We cannot be freed from all these debts. What kind of devotional service we need to perform is mentioned here. He says we have to take complete shelter of Lord Shri Krishna. And how? Sarvatmana and Parihartya Kartam.
ये शरणयम का विशेषण है सर्वात्मना. उस मुकुंद की शरण में कृष्ण की भक्ति कैसे करनी है? सर्वात्मना.
How are we take to shelter? How are we supposed to take the shelter of the Lord? So whatever we are doing is just a practice to get relieved of these debts. We have to fully surrender to the Lord. That is why Sarvatmana Ya Sharanaya. Sarvatmana has 5 meanings, which our acharyas have told. By these 5 meanings, you can understand what kind of devotional service we need to perform to get relieved of these debts. So just remember, unless we get relieved of these debts, we won't be able to cross this material ocean. So to get relieved of these depths, we will have to come again and again. So, if we want to get relieved 100% of these, then we should take complete shelter of the Lord. And Sarvatmana, the meaning is Sarva Prakarena. That means by all, in all forms. That means by mind, body, soul, wealth. We should take the and the body. So some say that we will give our heart, but we will not give our wealth. But this means totally Kaya, Vacha and Mansa. Kaya means body, Vacha means speech, and Maya means wealth. That means with all the forms, or in all the forms, we need to take complete shelter of the Lord. And the second meaning given by Sridhar Swami is Sarva Atmana, Sarva Bhavena. That means with mellows, we should take the shelter of the Lord. It should not be just a physical exercise, but we should have feelings, emotions towards the Lord in our heart. Only then will we be able to achieve this. And do we think that we are doing it with all our love and emotion? Then it is just a confusion. If we are doing with all our heart, then while chanting our name, the holy names of the Lord, we won't be feeling sleep or hungry. So one Acharya says Sarvatmana means completely, Sampurna. And Anya Vrityu Rahit Atma. That means the heart should be relieved of all the other activities and totally focused on the lotus feet of the Lord. That is Sarvatmana.
विजय ध्वज नाम के एक आचार्य हुए.
So, there is a Acharya whose name is Vijay Dhwaj, who gives the fourth meaning, and he says, one is Hari Bhakta, and then there is another who is Sarvatha Hari Bhakta, and the third is Sarvatmana Hari Bhakta. So these are the three categories of the devotees of the Lord. The first is Hari Bhakta, and superior to them is Sarvada Hari Bhakta, and the third and foremost category is Sarvatmana Hari Bhakta. So they are not talking about Kanishta or Madhyam Bhakta. They are talking about the topmost Uttam category of the devotees. When we reach the Uttama level, that Shuddh, pure devotional service, then only will be relieved of 5 depths. And some people just do little devotional service and they say that we are relieved of all these depths, but we are still entangled in this material universe. Another Acharya says Sarvatmana means, he says that Lord Shri Krishna is everything, and when we have this in our mind and we pray or perform devotional service to him, then only we will be relieved of these debts. That is Sarvatmana. And then Parihatya Kartam. And we should not have any ego that we have detached so much.
हमारे ऊपर डालते हैं. हमने लाल गोविंद के लिए इतना कुछ किया.
People say that we have done so much for you. We have left this for him and for that. So it's not on my behest, but you're following it because you want to progress. And I'm just giving you the philosophical points but you're not doing it for my sake, but for your sake. The Lord doesn't get affected by it. If we perform devotional service towards the Lord, and if we perform some austerity and detachment, then it is for our benefit. It is for our welfare. We are just giving you the knowledge of all the scriptures and motivate you. But yet, initially, I used to think that people used to say that we have done this for you. But now I have come to the point that, okay, even if you're doing it for me, then at least you do.
हमारे लिए करो,
But do it,
करना ही सबसे बड़ी बात है,
because that is the most important thing.
जो करना महत्वपूर्ण है. तो अहंकार को छोड़कर
So we need to get relieved of
ये करना.
the pride, that is ahankar and ego. And Narottam Das Thakur writes in Prem Chandrika, the verse in front of his screen.
देवलोक पितृलोक पायतारा महासुख. देवलोक पितृलोक पायतारा महासुख. साधु साधु बोले अनुक्षण. साधु साधु बोले अनुक्षण. युगल भजन जारा प्रेमानंदे भासे तारा. युगल भजन जारा प्रेमानंदे भासे तारा. ताहार निछनी त्रिभुवन. ताहार निछनी त्रिभुवन. नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर
Narottam Das Thakur in Shri Prem Bhakti Chandrika says,
देवलोक में देवता,
the demigods in the Devlok and our ancestors in the ancestral planet will be completely satisfied and will be each word of the acharyas are very important. They will achieve happiness, not only happiness, but extreme happiness or bliss. And they will say sadhu, sadhu, again and again, constantly they will say sadhu. The way we say Vah, similarly. But what will we do? Then only they will say sadhu, sadhu. What are we supposed to do? So Narottam Das Thakur says, Yugal bhajan jara. That means
गूगल 1000 बार यूज करेंगे लेकिन युगल को एक बार भी नहीं देखेंगे.
So we need to chant the holy names of Yugal, not the Google. We
राधा कृष्ण की उपासना होगी.
search on Google innumerous times, but we should chant the names of Srimati Radharani and Krishna, that is the Yugal, and the one who performs pure, unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord, Premanandi. So, but if we think that we are doing the same, then our ancestors will curse us. That if we say that that we need not need to perform veneration for our ancestors, then they will curse us because we haven't achieved that phase of devotional service yet. Therefore, a Premanand means who always sees the love, devotion towards the God, and not of anger, lust, or greed. And once we achieve that stage, then only will we be indebted, will be relieved of all these debts. So we are not at this stage, but if we gradually follow this path and chant the holy names and listen to the Bhagavatam Katha, then gradually we will proceed to pure loving devotional service towards the Lord and achieve that stage, and will be relieved of all these 5 debts and reach the eternal abode of the Lord. So we have been listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. Now, Shukdev Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj has met, and he has inquired about a question, and now he has started the discussion. So, whenever a katha starts, they start the Mangalacharan. Vyasdev ji, Sudji, and now Shukla Dev ji also is doing the Mangalacharan in verses. So I just want to present one verse in front of your screen, and we'll try to understand this verse.
तपस्विनो दान परा यशस्विनो मनस्विनो मंत्रविदः सुमंगला तपस्विनो दान परा यशस्विनो मनस्विनो मंत्रविदः सुमंगला क्षेमं न विन्दन्ति विना यदर्पणम् क्षेमं न विन्दन्ति विना यदर्पणम् तस्मै शुभद्र श्रवसे नमो नमः तस्मै सुभद्र श्रवसे नमो नमः। जब भी ये श्लोक बोलता हूँ ना तो हमारे गुरुजी हमें याद आ जाते हैं।
Whenever I sing this verse, I get reminded of our Guru Maharaj. This verse, first of all, I heard from him, and where I heard it in Haridwar on the banks of Bhagirathi, and it was long back when he started the Katha, and he started the Mangalacharan with this Mangalacharan, with this beautiful verse.
तो ऐसे बहुत सारे श्लोक सुखदेव जी ने
There are so many verses that Shukdev ji said, but he says in this Mangalacharan shlok, a verse, that what is the actual path for our welfare. So there are 2 things that are presented in this verse. First, till the point we are fully surrendered, we won't have our welfare. And to surrender to the Lord, there is no one who is equal to Krishna in this whole material universe. And that is what he is telling in his Mangalacharan. He says, no matter how much austere a person might be, how much charitable he or she might be, and no matter how much famous he might be. Manasvina means self-respecting person. Mantravida means expert in all the Vedic hymns or mantras. Sumangala, that is a person who is a perfect gentleman.
कितना भी बड़ा मंत्रों का जानने वाला, और सुमंगला कितना भी बड़ा आचरण करने वाला। 6 प्रकार के लोग हुए ना पहली लाइन में।
So these are 6 types of people in the first line. So even if somebody achieves all these, yet Shemam na vindanti, even after performing all this, he will not attain welfare. And in that assembly, there were so many sages, saints, as experts in Vedic hymns, yet in Mangalacharan, he just broke. So, you can connect this tapasvini with Shemam na, dana, Shemam na vindanti. And till what point they will not be benefited? Vina yad arpanam. Till the point they are surrendered to the Lord, they will not achieve any welfare. So, no matter how much austere you are not surrendered. You will just indulge in creating false ego.
ये बिना शब्द जो ना हिंदी संस्कृत सेम है, मतलब आप आगे पीछे कर लीजिए दूसरी लाइन में ना, विना यदर्पणम, उसको आगे पीछे कर लीजिए तो क्या होगा?
विना यदर्पणम,
अर्पणम विना, अर्पण किए बिना,
that is without giving or without surrendering.
समर्पित हुए बिना कितनी भी बड़ी तपस्या हो,
so no matter how much austerity we perform, we will not be benefited.
क्षेमम न विंदन्ति, उसका कल्याण नहीं होगा। समर्पित हुए बिना कितना भी यश बढ़ा लो,
and no matter how much hard we work, it will not benefit us.
समर्पित हुए बिना कितने भी स्वाभिमानी हो जाओ, मंत्रों के जानकार हो जाओ या सदाचारी हो जाओ, क्षेमम न विंदन्ते। अच्छा, तो समर्पित किसको होना है?
And to whom are we supposed to surrender? Tasmai
भगवान श्री कृष्ण को
Namo Nama. It means to Lord Shri Krishna. So what is the essence of this verse? That till the point someone surrenders completely to the Lord Shri Krishna, then no matter how much austerity he performs or charity he does, or he becomes famous, or he is expert in Vedic hymns, or is a perfect gentleman, yet he will not be benefited. And if I tell you in other words that you just don't do any austerity, just enjoy your life, you don't perform any charity, you need not to be famous, you need not to learn Vedic hymns or be perfect. But if we surrender ourselves to the Lord and your spiritual master, then it will be for our own welfare. So the best thing that we can do is to fully surrender ourselves to the Lord. So these small kids, they don't want to eat, but the parents force them to eat. And no matter how much clothes they have, but yet the parents will provide a new cloth. Why? Because these kids are surrendered to their parents. Surrender is very powerful. And if we surrender ourselves to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Father of our Father, then our life will be blissful and we need not to do anything more. And how are we going to surrender? Fully. We have surrender, but there is a percentage, 10%, 5%, 8%, etc. And some are just on point. They're not even surrendered for 1%. So we agree that we are surrendered because we are wearing kanthi and tilak, but our surrender is not complete. So the king performed 92 horse sacrifice at Ashwamedh Yagya, and he was about to achieve 100 Ashwamedh Yagya. His guru was Vamadev, and he thought that if he perform 100 Ashwamedh Yagya or horse sacrifice, then he will become proud and he will get entangled to achieve heavenly earth. And the spiritual master works for welfare of the disciple. So after he performed 92, the 93rd was being performed. Then his spiritual master Vasudev Maharaj thought that if he gets heaven, then he will not get liberation, but I want him to get liberation. So he planned. The Guru Vamdev ji took the form of a brahmachari sannyasi and arrived there as in the sacrifice of Bali Maharaj. Vaman Dev ji arrived. Similarly, his spiritual master came as a sage or sannyasi. The king stood up and said that you're most welcome. We are very grateful and please ask for anything that you desire and we will provide it. Vamdev ji told him that first you take an oath that you will give me whatever I ask for. So he took the water and took the oath that I will give you whatever you want. When the sankalp or oath was complete, so the spiritual master who has taken the form of a sannyasi, he was asked, okay, you can ask whatever you want. He said that whatever you have should be mine.
आपने जो
And
मांगा,
he said, Tathastu, I agree and I give it to you. He said that you have given the charity, but now you give me some Lakshmi so that I can go. So he was thinking that whatever I had, I will give it to him, but only clothes are left. So he said, the master said that whatever is yours is mine, and whatever clothes that you are wearing, these clothes are also mine. So you need not to remove them. So just give me something else as alms. So he was thinking, what am I supposed to do? How I'm going to pay alms? The master said that you need not to think because your mind and heart is also mine. Your home, your wealth, your clothes, even your heart is mine because you have already given it to me. So you need not to think as well. The king was shocked. He was thinking, what are we supposed to do? And he became unconscious. The king, Brihadeshwar, became unconscious. And in this state, what he saw, he went to the gates of Yamraj, and there Yamraj and Chitragupt were standing. They said that he has done many pious activities, but he has performed so many sins as well. Oh Bridhashva,
तुझे पहले नरक चाहिए कि स्वर्ग
you
चाहिए?
want to go to heaven or hell before?
बृहदश्व राजा ने सोचा कि नरक में तो
So
थोड़ा कम
Brihadashva
टाइम
thought that
बिताना है,
I will
स्वर्ग
have
मेरे
to
लिए
spend
थोड़ा
less
ज्यादा है,
time in hell
पहले
and
स्वर्ग में जाऊंगा ना,
heaven is more.
फैसिलिटी मुझे मिलेगी,
So
तो
if
फिर
I get
नरक में
more
बहुत प्रॉब्लम
facility,
होगा,
then I will
इसलिए
face
पुण्य
more
वाला पार्ट जो है ना वो पहले
problem in
निभा लेता हूँ, बाद में
hell.
स्वर्ग। तो कहा
So first
पहले
I
मुझे
should go to
नरक
hell.
दे दीजिए,
So he said that,
बाद
okay,
में
just
स्वर्ग
give me
दीजिए,
hell first.
इसे नरक में लेकर जाओ।
And they
और
took him to the
बृहदश्व
hell.
नरक के
And
द्वार में
when
प्रवेश किया
Brihadashva reached
और
there
नरक में वो दंड
on the
बाप रे,
gate
वो
of
सजा
hell,
देते हुए तो
where
कांप गए।
he
अरे
saw
बाप रे, इतना कष्ट, मेरी चमड़ी उखड़
all these
जाएगी,
people
मुझे
being
गरम
punished,
गरम गरम तेल
he
में
was
घोला जाएगा।
amazed, he was shocked and spellbound
तब उस
that, oh my God,
बृहदश्व को याद
I will
आया,
be
गुरु जी
tortured.
ने कहा था
So he thought
जो
that
तेरा है वो सब मेरा है। तो उस समय उसने
my
संकल्प
spiritual
करके
master
कहा,
has
गुरु
said
जी,
that whatever
आपने
is
कहा जो
yours is
मेरा है वो
mine.
तेरा है, तो
So
ये
he said,
नरक जो मेरा है वो भी आप ले लीजिए।
so he said that even this hellish punishment, you should take it.
उसी समय वो मूर्छित अवस्था से
At
बाहर
that
आए
time, he
और
came
गुरु जी ने
out of
कहा
his unconscious, and the
कि तूने ये तो
guru
कह दिया
or spiritual
कि
master
जो
said that,
नरक है वो
okay,
मेरा है, तो
that
फिर साथ ही साथ
whatever
तुझे ये भी
hell
कहना चाहिए
is
कि
yours,
स्वर्ग भी
then
मेरा
you
है।
should also say that the
मतलब
heavenly
प्रॉब्लम
stay is
वाला
also
पार्ट तो
mine.
मुझे देना
So
चाहता
the
है
problem,
और
you want to
स्वर्ग
give
को
it
तू
to
खुद
me,
भुगतना चाहता
and
है।
you want to enjoy yourself
ऐसे
in
अधूरे
heaven.
समर्पण भाव
So
से
this
न
incomplete
सुख मिलता है,
surrender
न
will not
कल्याण होता
provide
है,
any
न
happiness and
मुक्ति
will
मिलती है।
not be beneficial, or it will not
यदि
give
तूने
any
सब कुछ
liberation
अर्पण
as
कर
well.
दिया तो
If you have surrendered
नरक भी अर्पण,
everything,
स्वर्ग भी अर्पण,
then
मारो
it
भी
should be
लाखों की हार
everything,
जीत सब कुछ
even
अर्पण
hell
कर
or
दो।
heaven, everything.
कहने का तात्पर्य यह है कि हमें
So it implies that
हमारा सब कुछ
we should
सर्वतोभावेन भगवान को अर्पण करना
surrender
चाहिए। इसलिए
everything
इस श्लोक
to
की
the
दूसरी
Lord.
लाइन में कहते हैं,
So that is why it
यद
is mentioned in the
अर्पणम
second
विना,
line, Yad
भगवान को
Arpanam
अर्पण किए
Vina,
बिना
without
क्षेमम न
offering
विंदन्ति, हमारा
or
कभी भी कल्याण
surrendering
नहीं
to
हो
the
सकता
Lord
है।
completely,
और
we will
जितनी
not
मात्रा में
be
हम भगवान को
benefited,
अर्पण करेंगे
and
उतनी
the
मात्रा
degree
में
of our
हमारा कल्याण
surrender
होगा।
will give
अभी
us
हम
the
लोगों का
degree
कल्याण
of
हो तो रहा है,
benefit. We
लेकिन
are
100%
all getting
नहीं हो
benefited,
रहा है,
but we are
क्योंकि हम
not
लोग
getting
100% अर्पण नहीं कर
100%
रहे हैं।
benefited because our
तो
surrender
ये
is not
परसेंटेज धीरे
100%.
धीरे बढ़ाते
So
जाइएगा।
we need
हाँ?
to increase our
बस
percentage
ये मैसेज
gradually.
इतना सुखदेव जी
That is
अपने
what
मंगलाचरण
Shukdev
में
ji
इतना
wants
मैसेज देना
to
चाहते हैं।
give this message in this Mangala Sharan.
और अब सुखदेव गोस्वामी
And now
महाराज
Shukdev
परीक्षित को
Goswami
निवेदन करते हैं कि परीक्षित,
tells a request, Parikshit
तुमने कहा
Maharaj,
ना कि म्रियमाण व्यक्ति
that
को क्या करना चाहिए।
what a person who
तो
is
परीक्षित,
about to die should do.
म्रियमाण
Oh,
व्यक्ति को
Parikshit,
भगवान श्री कृष्ण का
a
श्रवण
person who is
करके
on his
उनकी
deathbed
कथा सुननी चाहिए,
should listen
स्तुति
to
का
the pastimes
यश्चरण,
of the Lord.
कृष्ण का नाम लेना चाहिए
He should
और
chant the holy
स्मरण
names of the
गव्यम,
Lord,
कृष्ण का
and he
स्मरण
should
करना
try to
चाहिए।
remember the Lord.
यह करने से
And
मन
by
भगवान
doing
में
all
लगता
these,
है और
our
मन
mind is
भगवान में
focused on
लगना
the
ही
Lord.
मनुष्य जीवन का
And when our mind is
वास्तविक लाभ
focused
है।
on the Lord, that is the most
वैसे तो
beneficial
परीक्षित इस
thing
दुनिया
for
में
us.
जिन लोगों को भौतिक वस्तु चाहिए वो
Although
देवी देवताओं की
people in
उपासना
this
करते हैं,
material world,
जिसको अन्न चाहिए वो
they
पृथ्वी की
require,
उपासना करते
if
हैं, बल
anything,
चाहिए
then
तो
they
इंद्रगण की
go
उपासना
to
करते हैं,
demigods
पति पत्नी में
according to
प्रेम
their
चाहिए तो
need.
पार्वती की उपासना करते हैं, विद्या चाहिए तो शिव जी की उपासना करते हैं, स्वामी बनना है तो ब्रह्मा की उपासना
If
करते
they
हैं,
want to become a master,
अपना
they
यश बढ़ाना है तो आकाश की उपासना
worship
करते
Brahma
हैं,
Ji, and if they want
अच्छी
fame,
पत्नी
they
चाहिए तो
worship
उर्वशी
sky,
की उपासना
and
करते
if
हैं,
they want good
सुंदर वर
wife,
चाहिए
then
तो गंधर्व
they
की उपासना करते
pray
हैं।
to Urvashi, and if they want beauty, they go
लेकिन
to Gandharvas.
ये सबकी
But
उपासना न करे,
if they
यदि कोई
don't
व्यक्ति
do, they
एकमात्र
don't
भगवान
worship
श्री कृष्ण की
them,
भक्ति करे
but
तो ये
just
सब कुछ
perform
वो
devotional
अपने आप
service of
प्राप्त हो
towards the
जाता है।
Lord, then he will achieve
अकामः सर्व
everything
कामोवा
automatically.
मोक्ष काम उदारधि तीव्रेन भक्ति योगेन यजेत पुरुषम परम। इस प्रकार सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने कथा
So, in this manner,
गंगा के धारा के
Shukdev
समान
ji
प्रारंभ कर
started flowing the
सर्वप्रथम श्री
Bhagavatam
सुखदेव
like
गोस्वामी
the flow of the
सृष्टि
holy
का वर्णन
Ganges.
करते हैं, किस प्रकार
First of all, he
भगवान से
describes
इस
the
सृष्टि का
material
सर्जन
universe creation,
और फिर विराट पुरुष की
and then
उत्पत्ति का वर्णन करते हैं।
the
विराट
manifestation of
पुरुष
Virat
किस
Purusha,
प्रकार से ये
how this world or universe was manifested, and it is just a part of the Lord. And the reason is that we should see the Lord in everything. That is why he is described by Shukdev Maharaj. Then he mentions the Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam spoken to Brahmaji. Then he tells the 10 topics of Bhagavatam.
तीसरे स्कंद के
In
प्रारंभ
the
में
third canto,
महाराज परीक्षित जिज्ञासा करते हैं,
beginning, Parikshit ji asks a question.
मेरा एक प्रश्न है,
He says that I have a
मैंने सुना
question
है कि विदुर जी
that
अपना
Vidur
राज्य
ji
त्याग कर, even अपने मंत्री
left
पद को
his
त्याग कर
the
वन में
kingdom
चले
and
गए।
his position and went to the
जहाँ
forests.
जहाँ श्राप की बात आती है,
Wherever
घर छोड़ने
there
की बात
is
आती है,
something about
परीक्षित उसमें
curse
ज्यादा
or
इंटरेस्ट
leaving
ले
the home,
रहे हैं,
Parikshit ji is more
क्योंकि
interested
परीक्षित
in
खुद
those
घर
things
छोड़कर आए हैं।
because he himself has left his
परीक्षित
home
को स्वयं
and
श्राप
he
मिला है।
himself have been cursed
परीक्षित ने राजपद छोड़ दिया,
and he left
जिसको
his
कोविड होता है ना, उसको दूसरा जिसको कोविड
kingly
होता है उसके बारे में
position.
सुनने में बड़ा
So
आनंद
a
आता है
person who
कि मैं
is
अकेला
suffering
नहीं
from
हूँ, मेरे
COVID,
जैसे और भी
he
हैं,
wants
उसे
to
थोड़ी सी
listen
ठंडक मिलती
about
है।
others who are suffering with the same disease.
लेकिन
Because
दुर्भाग्य
if
के
we are
साथ
only
में
suffering, then
थोड़ी
it's
सी
a huge
काढ़ा
problem. But
है।
if there are
तो
other
महाराज
people as
परीक्षित
well,
ने
then we get some sort
स्पेशली
of
विदुर जी को विषय में
satisfaction.
पूछा
So
कि अपना
especially
घर बार
Parikshit ji
छोड़
is
कर
asking
निकले,
about
ऐसा
Vidur
मैंने
ji
सुना।
that
तब
he
सुखदेव गोस्वामी विदुर जी की कथा सुनाते हैं।
that he
श्रीमद्
left his
भागवत का
home,
तीसरा और चौथा
and
स्कंद
the third and
विदुर
fourth
स्कंद
canto
है।
of Bhagavatam
विदुर
is
जी की
Vidur
कथा और
Skan
मैत्रेय विदुर संवाद,
because it
ये तीसरे चौथे स्कंद की
includes
कथा है।
the conversation between Maitreya and
बोले
Vidura.
ये उन दिनों की बात है,
He says that
यदा
this is
तु
about the
राजा
times
सुसुतान साधुन पुरुषनेन धर्मेन विनष्ट दृष्टि भ्रातुर्य विष्टस्य सुतान विबंधुन प्रवेश लाक्षा भवने ददाह। ये उन दिनों की बात है जिन दिनों
this is about the times when Duryodhana
प्रकार की अनीति अधर्म से
was doing all kinds of sins and was trying to kill the Pandavas somehow.
लाक्षा गुरु में आग लगाकर पांडवों को मारने का प्रयास,
He arranged to burn them in Lakshagriha. He tried to poison Bhim. By gambling and cheating, they sent them to exile. And Duryodhana had such kinds of plans. And when Vidurji realized this, and he is the minister, and as a minister, it is his responsibility to give good advice to the king. And Dhritarashtra was not only the king but also his elder brother. So one day Vidurji told, "O king Dhritarashtra, I am your younger brother and I am the minister. But I tell you truthfully that your son Duryodhana is doing so much sinful activity, and still you have some time. You should stop your son Duryodhana. Otherwise, because of this one son, the whole Kuru clan will be destroyed. Everybody will be killed just because of your one son. He is performing so much violence and sinful activities." So Vidurji gave this advice, and when Duryodhan heard this, and in the whole assembly he disrespected Vidurji.
निर्वास्त माशु पुरात साना। अरे विदुर जी,
Oh Vidur, he addressed him that you're disrespecting me. You're talking about me to my father. You're forgetting that you are son of a maid, son of a maid, and you are working, and you are.
जब दुर्योधन इस प्रकार से विदुर जी का अपमान कर रहा था,
And in this way, when Vidurji was being disrespected by Duryodhana, Vidurji has written the philosophy on how to behave with others. So Vidurji and Chanakya have taught about, if you want to learn how to behave with or deal with material people, you should read them and then understand. And if you can't read it, then you can make a katha, ask for a katha, and we will read and share it with you. So Vidurji thought that no matter what Duryodhan says, it doesn't affect me, but I just want to see what Dhritarashtra has to say. Whenever you do something or any work, people will criticize you, and we should not mind. Even if they criticize us or praise us, we should just say what our authority says. That is the most important thing. So Duryodhan was insulting Vidurji. He was not looking at Duryodhan, he was looking towards Dhritarashtra, that what does he has to say. But Duryodhan said so much, but Dhritarashtra didn't utter a single word. Dhritarashtra should have stopped him, that you should not speak like this to your uncle. Vidur and Chanakya had the same conclusion here. When in the assembly there is unrighteousness, it is not that sad. It's not as much sad as people remain silent. That is far more grave sin, or far more sad situation. Then Vidurji realized that the father and son both are blind, and in the world of these blind, we should not stay. And Vidurji has this philosophical point that if somebody is performing any sinful activity, then we should we should teach them, we should try to tell them, but if they don't do it, then we should leave them, otherwise we will also become the part of their sinful activity. And Vidurji used to have a bow and arrow. He used to live like a king, and he left the bow and arrow on the gates, and he left Hastinapur.
और भागवतकार सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने कह दिया कि
Shukdev Goswami said that when Vidur left Hastinapur, he took the fortune of Hastinapur with him. The Hastinapur became unfortunate. He took the fortune of Hastinapur. We are fortunate because we are under the shelter of the sages and saints. Once we don't have their shelter, we will become unfortunate or devoid of fortune. Even Lord Krishna wouldn't have been able to kill Kurus or Kauravas if Vidurji was not there. But after disrespecting Vidura, he had invited his death, and it was fated for them to die. And the similar pastime is in Ramayan. Ravan was alive till the point Vibhishan was there, but the day when Vibhishan was kicked by Ravana and said he didn't just kicked his brother, but he kicked his fortune and he invited his death. So this conclusion of this pastime is that no matter what happens, we should not offend any sages or saints, especially of those who have taught us devotional service and how to speak and how to do devotional service, and they have sent us to this stage. Such saints and sages should not be disrespected or offended. We should never leave them, otherwise we will become unfortunate or devoid of fortune. The fortune will slip away from us. Vidurji was not worried. He was in blissful. Narsimha Mehta said that it's better that that entanglement of this material has been broken. Now at least I can focus on chanting the holy names of the Lord. And Narsimha Mehta roamed, or Vidurji roamed or circumambulated the whole world, and he went to all the holy places. Then he went to Vrindavan, and there he met Uddhavji. And when he saw Uddhavji, he reminded himself of Krishna, and he asked about Krishna. How is Krishna? Uddhavji said that he told everything, and yet he admitted that Krishna has left us. By just listening this, Vidurji was overwhelmed with emotion, and he became extremely emotional when Uddhavji said that when Krishna was leaving this world, he was remembering you. He gave Bhagavatam to me and you, and he told Maitreya Rishi that please give it or share it with Vidur. Just listening that, Vidurji was overwhelmed that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who by just the movement of his eyes can create, generate and destroy the world. And when he was leaving this material world, he was remembering a maid servant, a son of a maid servant like me. His faith or mellow increased towards him. He asked, where will I meet Maitreya Rishi? I want to listen from him. He was directed towards Haridwar by Uddhavji, and he reached Haridwar on the banks of Gangaji at Rishikesh, where they both met. And Vidurji asked so many types of questions, and Maitreya Muni shares the pastimes of the Lord. And after that, during the pastime, he performs the Anumodan, and we will listen to his Anumodan after some infomercial, and we will listen to the rest part in some time.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, प्रभु जी. बहुत ही सुंदर इस प्रथम सत्र में प्रभु जी श्रीमद् भागवत की महिमा को हम सबके बीच में प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं, और इसी भागवत के प्रसंगों में हम सबको श्रवण करा रहे हैं. बहुत सुंदर, जैसे श्रीला सुखदेव गोस्वामी परीक्षित महाराज को भागवतम के एक के बाद एक अध्याय को संक्षिप्त में यहाँ पर प्रभु जी हमें इसी अध्याय का वर्णन कर रहे हैं. किस प्रकार जब यहाँ पर अभी विदुर जी मिलने आए हैं यहाँ पर. सो थैंक यू प्रभु जी. और बहुत ही सुंदर यहाँ पर हम हरिनाम वीक सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, विच वी ऑल नो कि इस हरिनाम वीक में प्राय सभी भक्त अपने अपने स्थान पर या जो भी इस्कॉन मंदिर नियर बाय में जुड़े हैं वहां पर हरिनाम में लगे रहते हैं, कीर्तन कर रहे हैं. तो इस हरिनाम वीक की महिमा क्या, हरिनाम क्या है, हरिनाम क्यों हमें जपना चाहिए, उसके ऊपर आपने बहुत ही सुंदर वर्णन किया है, जैसे कि आपने बहुत ही सुंदर उस श्लोक से हम सबको अवगत कराया कि कली काले नाम रूपे कृष्ण अवतार और नाम हैते है सर्व जगत निस्तार। इस कलयुग में विशेष जो भगवान का अवतरण हुआ है वो भगवान के नाम के रूप में हुआ है, और नाम हैते है सर्व जगत निस्तार। यही नाम लेने से हम सब इस जगत को निस्तार यानी प्राप्त कर सकते, उससे ऊपर उठ सकते हैं, यानी इस भौतिक जगत से। और नाम बिना नहीं कली, नाम बिना कली काले नहीं आर धर्म। इस कलयुग में भगवान श्री कृष्ण के नाम के अलावा और कोई अन्य कोई धर्म नहीं। बहुत सारे वैसे धर्म है, परंतु जैसे प्रभु जी ने बताया कि सारे धर्म इसी नाम को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। तो मुख्य यही है कि हम इस कलयुग में आए हैं, तो भगवान को प्राप्त करने के जैसे अलग अलग युग में अलग अलग साधन थे। द्वापरे परिचर्या नाम, त्रेतायाम यजतो मुखे, कलो तद हरि कीर्तनाथ। इस कलयुग में भगवान श्री कृष्ण के नाम के कीर्तन के द्वारा ही हम भगवान को प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। तो बहुत सुंदर यहाँ पर सर्वशास्त्र नाम ये सर्व मंत्र सार नाम यह शास्त्र मर्म। और ये सारे यही नहीं कि ये जो श्लोक बताया इसी पर्टिकुलर शास्त्र में इस कलयुग में भगवान के नाम की महिमा बताई है, नहीं, बहुत सारे शास्त्र के प्रभु जी ने उदाहरण आज भी हमें यहाँ पर प्रस्तुत किए हैं। और भी अनेक अनेक पद्म पुराण है, कलौ संतरण उपनिषद है, अनेक अनेक उपनिषद में भगवान श्री कृष्ण के नाम जपने की महिमा को बताया गया है, विशेष इस कलयुग में भगवत प्राप्ति के लिए। तो थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी कि हम सब यहाँ पर आज इस षष्ठम दिवस की कथा के अंतर्गत हरि नाम की महिमा कुछ आपके मुखारविंद से आस्वादन किए। और प्राय हम सब भक्त यहाँ पर एकत्रित होकर यही प्रयास होता है कि प्रतिदिन हम मिलते हैं इस अमृत चर्चा प्लेटफॉर्म पर और हरिनाम जप करते हैं। सो दोज हु आर स्टिल नॉट हैविंग आइडिया कि भगवान नाम जप करना चाहिए, और उसे जप करने का एक बहुत सुंदर समय है जो कि ब्रह्म मुहूर्त है। और हम यहाँ पर भारत के ब्रह्म मुहूर्त के अनुसार प्रतिदिन हरिनाम जप कर रहे हैं, morning 5:30 to 7:30, since because we are having Hari Katha, so we are starting at 5:30 only and then we hear Hari Katha. So आप सभी इसमें आमंत्रित हैं इसी प्लेटफॉर्म पर, और इसी यूजर आईडी पासवर्ड के साथ में आप लॉग इन हो सकते हो, और आने वाले दिनों में आप हमारे साथ में इस प्रकार भगवान नाम की हरि नाम जप करने के लिए हमारे साथ में जुड़ सकते हो। So we hope that you will join us in coming days for this हरिनाम जपा सेशन। और साथ ही साथ बहुत ही सुंदर हम जो पितरों की कथा आपके मुखारविंद से आस्वादन किए, उनमें जो 5 ऋण है हमारे ऊपर, इसके ऊपर आपने बहुत ही सुंदर व्याख्याएं प्रस्तुत की। और सर्वात्मयम शरण्य शरण्यम, इस विषय में आपने बहुत सुंदर बताया प्रभु जी की कैसे सारी चीजों को हमें त्याग कर शरण ग्रहण करनी चाहिए, उन भक्ति की, मुकुंद की शरण की ग्रहण करना चाहिए। तो थैंक यू प्रभु जी। और उसके पश्चात बहुत ही सुंदर हमने यहाँ पर आस्वादन किया कि कैसे श्रील सुखदेव गोस्वामी जो मंगलाचरण गाते हैं, और उस मंगलाचरण के अंतर्गत सुंदर श्लोक का आपने हमारे बीच में प्रस्तुत किया, जिससे कि हम सब ये समझ सके कि कैसे यदि कोई कितना भी तप करे या कितना भी दान करे, कितना भी यश हो, क्षेमम न विदंती विना यदर्पणम, यदि हम वह वस्तु भगवान को पूर्णतया अर्पण नहीं करते हैं तो उसका कोई अर्थ या कोई लाभ नहीं होता है। तो यह सुंदर श्लोक में मंगलाचरण के आपने इतनी सुंदर व्याख्या प्रस्तुत की, उसके लिए हम आपके धन्यवाद करते हैं। और थैंक यू प्रभु जी। और बहुत ही सुंदर हम जैसे प्रभु जी बताए कि कैसे यहाँ पर हम पितरों की श्राद्ध पक्ष चल रहा है विशेष, तो इस श्राद्ध पक्ष के अंतर्गत बहुत ही सुंदर हम प्रभु जी के मुखारविंद से श्राद्ध की महिमा आस्वादन कर रहे हैं। सो चूंकि हम सब पितरों के ऋण में हैं, देवताओं के ऋण में हैं, और अनेक अनेक और भी ऋण में हम सब बंधे हुए हैं, इसलिए प्राय हम सब के लिए कठिन हो जाता है नाम जप में रुचि, या भक्ति में जो बाधाएं उत्पन्न होती हैं, and it could be one of the reason, कि हम पितरों की यथा योग्य सेवा नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो क्योंकि ये श्राद्ध पक्ष चल रहा है और विशेष यह वह समय है जहां पर हमारे पितरों ये आश लगाकर बैठते हैं कि हमारे जो रिलेटिव्स हैं, हमारे जो ये वंशज हैं, वो हमें श्राद्ध अर्पण करेंगे और उसके श्राद्ध के द्वारा हम सब अगला साल तक वी कैन सर्वाइव। अन्यथा उनको बहुत कष्ट होता है। जैसे हम बता सब श्रवण करते हैं प्रभु जी के मुखारविंद से कि साल में एक ही दिन ऐसा होता है, ये 15 दिन ऐसे होते हैं जिसमें वो हमसे आशा लगाए बैठे होते हैं, और यदि हम वो भी नहीं कर पाते हैं तो बड़ा दुर्भाग्य है ये हमारा, और उससे वे भी दुखी होते हैं और हम भी दुखी होते हैं। तो हम सबको प्रयास करना चाहिए कि ये जो श्राद्ध पक्ष है विशेष, इसमें हम जुड़े, अपने पितरों के लिए यथाशक्ति श्राद्ध सेवा करें। तो विशेष तो इसमें पितरों को तर्पण करना रहता है और उनकी पितृमोक्ष पूजा जो कि हम प्रति यहाँ पर करते ही हैं, और भागवत पाठ की महिमा है। जैसे पूजी ने बताया कि भगवान की भक्ति के द्वारा वो भी 100% यदि हम करते हैं तो उनका अधिक से अधिक लाभ उनको भी प्राप्त होता है। तो ये सुंदर सेवा कार्य हम यहाँ पर कर रहे हैं। आप भी अपने पितरों के नाम यहाँ पर हमें दे सकते हैं इस व्हाट्सएप नंबर के द्वारा, जो कि आप स्क्रीन पर इस वक्त देख सकते हो, विच इज 756-754-5555। और इस नंबर पर आप व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने पितरों के नाम, हमें बड़ी खुशी होगी उनके बिहाफ में भी ये सारी सेवा करने के लिए। तो आप सब बिना झिझक के इस पितरों के नाम हमें अवश्य सेंड कीजिएगा। और आइए निवेदन करते हैं श्रीमान लाल गोविंद जी से कि इस कथा को श्रवण कराएं। धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण।
यश्च मूढ़तमो लोके यश्च बुद्धे परम गत तावुभो सुख में देते तावुभो सुख में देते क्लिश्यन्त अंतरिता जनः। श्री मैत्रेय मुनि और विदुर जी के बीच में संवाद चल रहा है।
Maitre Muni and Vidurji are having a discussion, and while listening to the pastime, Shri Vidurji asks that whatever you are speaking, I'm understanding that, and I understood, and first time is it being said,
यश्च बुद्धे परम गता लोके, माने इस लोक में,
that in this material world, in this universe or world, Vidur will make a philosophical point. You can see, have a glimpse of Vidur Niti here. He says, in this world, Yascha Muddhatamo, that means the fools. Do you know what does a Mudha means? It is said Mahamudha, a madman. You know a person who is mad? So 100 mad people is equal to one fool.
लेकिन आप देखो, ऐसे आप 100 लोग हैं, मैं यहाँ एक हूँ, 100 इज इक्वल टू 1 100 पागल इज इक्वल टू
100 mad is equal to one fool,
और 100 मूर्ख इज इक्वल
and
टू 1 मुड्ढ,
one fool, 100 fools is equivalent to a mood.
समझे? 100 पागल,
So you get the point?
मूर्ख और 100 मूर्ख होते हैं तब एक मुड्ढ बनता है। उस मुड्ढ में भी मूढ़तर,
And in that
आप विचार तो करो,
also there are categories: mood, moodhatam,
जो टॉप
Mudhatar and Mudhatam. So the topmost category of Mudha is Mudhatam. So Viduji says that in this material world, the topmost fool is the most happiest of all. And the person who is more intelligent is also very happy. So two types of people enjoy: the one who is an extreme fool, or the other one who is extreme intelligent. And the persons who are in between, he says, "Kleshayantarati jana." They're always suffering distress and disturbance. And this is the Vidur Niti. And this is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.7.17.
तो कितनी बड़ी बात कर दी. अब बताइए, आप सबसे ज्यादा बुद्धिमान बनना चाहते हैं?
So do you want to be an extreme intelligent or the extreme foolish person? Because these are the two types who are happy.
हम क्या है ना, हम न मूर्ख है न बुद्धिमान, हम सब बीच में हैं.
And we all are in between.
मैं आपको एक बात सुनाता हूँ.
So let me share a story with you.
यहाँ पर दो चीज हो गई कि सबसे ज्यादा मूर्ख होता है वो सुखी और सबसे बुद्धिमान होता है वो सुखी. कैसे? एग्जाम्पल से आप
So
देखें.
how? Let me give you an example.
एक बार एक चोर,
An extreme foolish and extremely intelligent person are happy. So there was a thief who was extremely foolish.
सबसे टॉप कैटेगरी का
He
मूर्ख
was the
था,
topmost
और चोर
fool,
था.
but he was a thief.
अब जो मूर्ख होता है वो बेचारा चोरी भी कैसे कर पाएगा?
So
चोरी
if
में
he
भी
is
तो
foolish, then
चाहिए ना.
how are he is going to steal? Because for that also he needs cleverness. So he was unable to rob. So what is he supposed to do? So what he did was, because he was unable to rob, so he had no food or means to survive. So what he used to do, he used to sit in the katha, and he used to sit for prasadam, which is not provided in online. So this thief who was unable to rob used to sit in the Bhagavatam Katha. And you know, the people from Iskcon, they will not give the prasadam directly. First, they kill you by sharing the pastime. So half of the people just run away. They just go back to their homes. Sometimes some speakers like me say that you should have the food before you leave. They're thinking that we can only have prasadam once you stop. You want to teach us everything today itself. When you stop, only then we will be able to have prasadam. Once one of the listeners told me, he said that, are you going to stop, or are you going to kill us with hunger?
कथा प्रवाह में समय का ज्ञान रहता नहीं.
So the flow of the katha, sometimes we forget the time. So this first thief used to go and sit for prasadam. And after the pravachan, we usually say that, is there any question? And this thief used to sit in the front because he will get the prasadam first. So every day he was being asked, is there any question? And he said that I don't listen anything, so how am I going to ask a question? So before the spiritual master says anything, the thief told him in a corner, he said, I'm affected by you. I just want to take initiation from you immediately. But after listening to you, I have headache after listening to you. That you do, I do such approach that why you are getting a headache. He said, sometimes you say that chanting of the holy name is best, and another hand you say that it listening to Bhagavatam is perfect. So sometimes you say that association and austerity are great, and sometimes you say detachment is great. Then you say non-violence is good. So can't you just focus on one thing? You have confused all of us. Is that your primary business? Uh, Already we are hungry and our mind doesn't work, and then you confuse us like this. So you just tell me one thing and then I will take initiation from you. Just fix one point.
गुरुजी ने कहा
The spiritual master said, yes, if you take initiation, I will tell you one thing. That from today, don't do anything. You just speak the truth. You don't have to do anything else, and it will be for your own good and welfare. So he was the extreme foolish person, and he just learned that from today I will not lie. And he has to rob. So he planned to rob the king. He entered his assembly. He was stopped by the bodyguard. He said, who are you? The Guru, he said that you don't lie. So he said, I am a thief. So the guard thought that how can a thief say that I'm a thief? So he allowed him to go. And he entered. And then he was again asked, why are you here? He said that I came here to rob this horse. The soldier said that the thief will not say that I just want to rob, and he will just hide, and that maybe he might have fought with his wife, and that is why he's talking like this. So what he did, he selected the best horse who was white, and he robbed this horse. And during the night, he just tied his horse in front of his house and slept. And when the king realized that this was the special horse of the king, and he used to ride on it, and this horse was not available now. So they started searching for the horse, that where is this horse? So by just following the imprints of the horse, they reached the place where the horse was there, and they arrived at the home of the thief, and they saw that this horse was not white but black. The horse is there, but it's not white but it's black. So they woke him up, and he said that I just robbed it. He said, where did you robbed it? He said that I robbed it from the king. Then he said that I bought him white, but I don't know how it became black. He said that he is a fool. He's not a thief. Had he been a thief, he would not admit that he has robbed the king. And he will say that the black one is mine. But he's saying that I bought the white, but even I'm not aware that how it turned black. So the king and the soldiers thought that he is a fool, he doesn't know anything. Let's search for our own horse. Then this thief thought that I should always speak the truth. If I spoke the truth, then how much benefit I have been benefited. So I was filled with happiness. So as Vidurji said that the extreme foolish person is happy and the most intelligent is happy. And Few days back we celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi. That Brahmaji said that whoever circumambulates the earth, then he will be considered intelligent. So the people who were less intelligent, they all started circumambulating the earth. But Ganeshji is intelligent that the mouse cannot reach. So he circumambulated 4 times his parents and came to Brahmaji and said that I have circumambulated the earth. And philosophical point he proved the same. And he became the first venerated god, demigod.
मैत्रेय मुनि महात्मा विदुर को
So Maitre Muni is sharing the pastimes with Vidurji. He said that a lotus manifested from the tummy of Lord, and Brahmaji manifested, and for 100 years he performed austerity, and then he saw the Lord and he prayed to him, and Lord Vishnu was satisfied, and he told Brahmaji, let me show you the verse. This is what Vishnuji told Brahmaji.
योग समाधिना राध्वम निर्श्रेयसम पुंसा मत प्रीति तत्वम विन्मवत. इस दुनिया में यदि कोई
In this world, if someone performs austerity, charity, etc., and if he does all these for me, then definitely he will achieve the fruit of the same. So all the pious deeds or acts. So in the second line is the main point, mat priti. So that means for my love. So if somebody performs any pious activity for me, then definitely he will be benefited or get the fruits of the same. So in totality, we should work for the happiness of the Lord, and we should perform all those pious activities for him. In Anand Ramayan, there is a pastime when Mother Sita was in exile with Love and Kush, and she used to stay in the hermitage of Valmiki ji. So Sita ji told Valmiki ji that I have not seen Ramji for so many days, and I just want to see him. I have this desire. So please tell me, what am I supposed to do so that I could see him? So many years have passed without seeing him. Valmiki ji told her, as you saw in this verse, Mat Priti, that if you do any work for him, you will get the Lord or attain the Lord. Valmiki ji told that you do one thing. For 9 days you fast. And what kind of fasting? You should keep his shoes, and you should pray his shoes or paduka with 9 lotus, and next day you put 18 fools, 18 lotus flowers, and then the third day with 27, then 36, like that. In multiplication, you should offer the lotus flowers every day. So Sita ji told, from where will we bring so many lotus flowers? Then Love was standing there. So Love said that, don't worry, I will bring the lotus flowers for you. You just concentrate on venerating. I said, from where will you bring? He said, in Ayodhya there are so many beautiful lotus flowers. Love said, I will bring them. So she started venerating. So Lavji bought 9 lotus, and there was higher security in the palace of Ramji, but yet he bought 9 flowers or lotus flowers in particular. So first thing, uh, he was left, but the second day when he was bringing 18 flowers, he was stopped, and he he sent all these soldiers by his arrows at the feet of Lord Ram, where he was performing the yajna. And in such manner, 8 days passed. On the ninth day, they were supposed to bring 81 lotus flowers, and it requires so much time to pluck all these flowers. So he took so much time, and there were so many security guards, and there was a great battle, but somehow love managed to defeat them all, and he bought these flowers. And Ramji told it, just inquire who is this boy. And then they realized that this boy stays in Valmiki's hermitage. Ramji said that I just want to see him and his parents, and just he told to bring this child and his family. Valmiki ji said that, as I told you, that once your fasting is complete, you will get an invitation. And on the 9th day, it so happened, Sita ji went there with love and Kush to meet Ramji. So, Lord himself has said that somehow the Lord makes our desire fulfill if our desire has the goal of love towards him. Mat priti arthe. So the Lord manifested, and he gave knowledge to Brahmaji, and he gave the permission to create the material universe. So Brahmaji gave birth to 10 sons, but they said that we want to follow Brahmacharya. Brahmaji became angry, and a crying baby emerged, and he was named Rudra. And then Manu and Shatrupa manifested from his body, and they were told to create this world, to populate this earth. So the earth was not there. Varaha Dev manifested and bought the earth back. We heard it a few days back. And they begot 5 children, and in which 3 were girls, Devhuti, Ahuti, and Prasuti, and 2 sons, Utanpad and Priyavrat. When he heard about Devhuti, he said that please share or tell me about Devhuti's pastime. So he said that when she was 16-year-old, her father asked, whom do you want to marry? She said that no matter who he is, but he should be a devotee of the Lord. And on other hand, Kardam Rishi had prayed or performed austerity towards Lord Vishnu, and he said that I want a devotee wife. So on the banks of Bindu Sarovar, Kardamuni and Devhuti got married by mercy of the Lord. And it is so described that after their marriage, she was the daughter of an opulent king, but the husband used to live in a hermitage. But still, Devhuti used to work hard for pleasure of her husband. She used to serve her husband, that she won his heart. She made him satisfied, and she achieved all the bliss of this world by just satisfying her husband. Sometimes in Vraj, there is a forest that is Kamyavan, and it is so said that during the exile of Pandavas, they used to stay in Kamyavan.
और ये बात द्वारिका में जब पता चली,
and when this word reached Dwarika, then especially Satyabhama came to Kamavan and she met Draupadi. So, as you might be aware that Rukmani is Dakshin Naika and Satyabhama is Bam Naika who suppresses her husband.
7 बजे बोला है तो 7 बजे ही आना चाहिए, तो सत्यभामा का कुछ ऐसा स्वभाव। तो सत्यभामा द्रौपदी से कहती है,
So Satyabhama asked Draupadi, listen carefully, we are 16,108 wives, yet we are not able to control him. And yet you are one, but you have 5 husbands. How you keep them in control? Satyabhama tells in her, that do you know any magic power or verse to control the husband? So that we can also do it. And we'll share it in Amrit Church as well. Then Draupadi replied, listen carefully. Draupadi says, if you want to control, yes, to bring this thought in your mind is also a great sin. So no, a wife should never think to control her husband, but she should serve her husband in such a manner that the husband automatically gets controlled by his wife. So the goal should not be to control the Lord, but to serve him. And automatically he gets controlled. One is by force to control the husband, and on the other hand, you serve the husband in such a manner that without even controlling, he gets controlled. I want to discuss in detail in 7 days Katha, because there's so many things that can be discussed here. Then Satyabhama said, how do you serve your husband? Then Draupadi in so many verses describes, you want to know? So in Bhagvatam, during the pastime of Devhuti, 3rd canto, 23rd chapter, 2nd and 3rd verse is mentioned in Bhagavatam. We listen about Draupadi in some other time, but let's see how Devhuti Mata served her husband Kardamuni. It said Vishwaramen, so it means first and foremost. A wife should, how should a wife serve her husband? Vishrambhena. There's so many things. Even if you don't do anything yet, but the first point should be there. Vishrambhen means faith or trust. Their relationship is based on mutual trust. No matter how many gifts a husband gives, or no matter how much the wife serves the husband, but if they don't have trust on each other, then the life will be messed up. So they should both work hard to build trust on each other. Sometimes what happens, a husband doesn't trust the wife or vice versa, and they just ignore, then I'm not wrong. Why should I give an explanation? We agree that you're not wrong, but you're not wrong that you have to prove it, that is your responsibility. Even if we are not wrong, but to create or form that trust, then that is our responsibility.
तो पत्नी को विश्वास दिलाना ये पति का सबसे पहला धर्म हो जाता है, सबसे पहली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी.
This is the first and foremost responsibility of the spouses.
भागवत तो भागवत है. अब देखो नंबर 1 क्या रखा. मैं भी आप पहली बार देख रहा हूं, मैं भी देखकर विश्रम्भेण आत्मशो.
Vishrambhena Atmashauchena. First of all, trust. So let me enumerate the points here without going into detail. So second is Atmashuddhi, that we should serve him after taking a bath. Then Gauravena, we should feel pride in serving our husband, that my husband is great and I'm serving him. It is such a great responsibility that I am following, and there is nothing beyond it. Sometimes wives they speak so much while working. It's better not to serve in this manner. Then Damena, Devuti Mata served Kardamuni by controlling her senses, and she should not sleep in front of her husband. She should wake up earlier than husband. People will dislike me when I speak like this. It's not practically possible. But this is not mine. I'm just presenting this verse in front of you. Then if you have any issues, you can contact Devhuti Mata, because she used to serve her husband in this manner. And the wife who serves her husband, and the Lord himself desire to come to such a home. Kapil Dev was not invited, but after seeing their love, the Lord manifested, and he wanted to be the child of such a couple. The couples who abuse each other, nobody will come. Even if the Lord comes, he will be disturbed. So this is the basic thing, that for Lord to manifest, that they should have trust, they should perform devotional service with him. Then only the Lord will manifest. Shushra, that she should be always surrendered to her husband, and she used to serve with beautiful voice and speech and love. On Sunday, and they have a holiday, the husband wants to sleep 1 or 2 hours more, but the wife will not allow that to happen. It's your holiday, so you should do some work today and help me. Why are you sleeping like a buffalo? So further, it is said, Visrujya means to forego the desires, Visrujya kamam, and by foregoing hypocrisy, jealousy, envy, and she used to serve her husband. She let go of her pride and sin, and she used to serve her husband eternally. Nityam means eternally. And therefore the Lord manifested as their son, as Kapil Muni. And Kapil Muni was born, and gradually he became an adult, And Garda Muni took sannyas, and Devhuti comes to Kapil Muni and requests that please advise me. So Kapil Muni gives advice, but tomorrow 8 o'clock. So you have been listening with so much love and patience. I'm really grateful to all of you, and I am extremely grateful to the Agarwal family and their ancestors, Sitaram Agarwal, Kunti Devi, Baldev Das ji, Basanti Devi, Ramlal ji, Vishambar Lal ji, and His Grace Vishwamangal Prabhu. In the reverie of such ancestors, Manoj Agarwal and Nidhi Agarwal, and from Kathmunda, Mandu, Lalita Agarwal has given this support, and we all have been benefited from this by listening to this Bhagavatam Katha. In the conclusion of this Katha, I just want to pray that amongst us, like us, like our mother who listens with so much mellow and listens to the Katha, and such Nartaki Shiromani Mata who resides in Mumbai, Nalini Mata, and her husband is in ICU in critical situation, who used to listen to the Katha, but today he is suffering. So we all should pray for him, because in such situation, praying to the Lord is the most powerful thing to do. And if we all pray, then they will get relieved of this situation, and but he will be again hale and hearty and will be able to listen to the Bhagavatam Katha. So we all will pray and do one extra round for them, and let's speak Mahamantra. So 10,000 people are listening, so at least 10,000 mantras will be done.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So आप सभी भक्तों को धन्यवाद देते हुए,
So I'm really grateful to all of you, and let's conclude the session with Jai Jaikar.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की